Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Computer Depot's Tech Classroom. In the next two lessons, we will be discussing security systems, but in today's class, we will focus on alarm security systems. And as usual, if you see a device or a product in this video that you would like to purchase, you can get it at your local Computer Depot store. Let's get into the video.
So what is the alarm system? The alarm system is a set of electronic devices that are connected together and are designed to trigger an alarm when there is an intrusion or whenever there is smoke or fire. There are four layers to an alarm security system: deterrence, detection, delay, and response. Let's look into these. Number 1. Deterrence. This layer is used to convince intruders that a successful entry to an unauthorized area is unlikely. Fences, fingerprint scanners, and cameras are some of the tools used to deter unauthorized access. Number 2. Detection. If the intruder enters the property, then you'll need to locate and identify the intruder with devices such as surveillance cameras, glass break sensors, and motion sensors. Number 3. Delay. After you've found the intruder, you will need to prevent them from taking action. Devices such as an alarm could get the job done. An alarm is pretty much a high decibel siren with a strobe light. Number 4. Response. In this phase, you would report to the necessary authorities, for example, the police or security service. Devices used in an alarm system will include, but is not limited to, the following items: security alarm panels and zone expanders, keypads, IP interface modules, sensors, high decibel sirens, strobe lights, and manual pull stations.
Let's look at all of these devices individually. Security alarm panel. An alarm control panel is a central hub of a security setup. All these devices used in the system are connected directly to the control panel, which also powers them. When purchasing an alarm panel, you will need to have a general knowledge of the area that needs to be protected and how you plan on dividing the areas into zones. Knowing the number of zones that will be monitored is key in deciding what size panel and how many zone expanders to add to the basic board. For example, an 8-zone alarm system will need an 8-zone expander to make the system a 16-zone alarm system. Zones can refer to any specific area on your property. It all depends on how the user wishes to classify the zones. For example, your bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, or even your veranda could be a zone. The purpose of creating zones will allow you to identify the exact entry point of an intruder when the alarm system is triggered.
The keypad. The keypad is the primary controller of the security system. Its purpose is to arm and disarm the system, as well as to make programmable changes. The keypad creates the bridge between the user and the system and gives the user a visual representation of the status of the system at any point in time. It will indicate when the system is armed and when the premises is protected. It will also indicate which zones have been triggered and at what time these zones were triggered. The IP interface module. The IP interface module works by connecting the alarm panel with an Ethernet cord to your router, which will allow you to have remote access to the alarm system from anywhere in the world using a computer. With remote access, you can arm or disarm your system or even track what zones have been triggered.
Sensors. Sensors used in alarm systems are devices that detect sound, heat, motion, and other signals. Some of these devices include magnetic contact sensors used for doors and windows, glass break sensors, laser beam sensors, motion sensors, vibration sensors, and smoke detectors. Magnetic sensors. Magnetic sensors, also known as entry sensors, have two parts: the magnetic contact, which is mounted on the window or door, which are the moving parts, and the reed switch, which is mounted on the frame. Once the alarm system is armed and someone tries to open a window or a door, the the entry sensor will trigger an alarm. Glass break sensors. Instead of opening windows, intruders can simply break them to avoid setting off the entry sensors. However, a glass break sensor detects the sound of glass breaking and triggers the security system. Laser beam sensors. This device comes in two parts, a light emitter and a light receiver. The principle by which these devices work is to produce a continuous light beam from the light emitter to the light receiver. It detects intrusion whenever someone passes between and causes the light beam to be broken. These sensors will come in different models, each model being able to cover longer distances between the light emitter and the light receiver, for example. Some models can range up to 90 feet outdoors and 190 feet indoors. The difference between the indoor and the outdoor range is a matter of interference. Beam sensors placed on the outside may be affected by dust, rain, or even fog, while beam sensors placed on the inside may not be interfered with.
Motion sensor. A motion sensor is a device used for both the interior and exterior areas of your property to detect nearby people or objects. When installing these sensors, two things you should be mindful of. 1. Be sure to install the sensor at the recommended height, as too close to the ground will result in too little coverage, and too high will result in the sensor not detecting objects when they enter the covered area, even if the sensor is pointing in its direction. 2. Adjust the sensitivity dial to the correct position, and do not think that making it most sensitive will be the best option. The alarm system will be triggered by small pets and rodents if the sensor is too sensitive. Slight adjustments will be needed after installation to get the best results.
Smoke detectors. Smoke detectors are devices that can detect smoke, carbon, and heat, normally as an indicator of fire. Smoke detectors, when connected to the security systems, should be connected to the fire zone, but if there is no fire zone, a regular zone should be programmed to represent this zone. When the fire zone is triggered, special commands and responses will be initiated to mitigate losses to the premises. For example, this trigger will call the fire department directly. Here are some devices that can be used to signal an alarm. Strobe light. Strobe lights are used to produce regular flashes of light and provide a visual indication of an alarm. High decibel siren. A siren is a device that makes a high-pitched wailing sound and is very convenient when we need to scare intruders away or alert our neighbors. Addressable manual pull station. In its simplest form, a manual pull station is a fire alarm initiating device that is activated by pulling a lever downward. When activated, it will trigger a high-pitched siren and a strobe light signal to alert nearby persons of a potential fire hazard. Battery. If you lose power from your main wire, you want to ensure that your alarm system is still in operation. This is where the backup batteries come into play. Backup batteries are mounted in a control panel of an alarm system. They provide backup power for a limited time when your regular power source fails. And that's it for today's lesson. Join us in our next class as we discuss the access control security system. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for today's quiz. It's time for this week's quiz question. Are you ready? Let's go! Today's quiz question is, according to today's lesson, name 3 devices that can be used to signal an alarm. Remember to leave a comment under this video for a chance to enter and win. We will announce our winner on YouTube this Friday at 6 p.m. Good luck!